Hello and welcome to the post-match show. Match number 40, Gujarat Titans versus SRH. And in the panel, we have Vida Krishnamurthy and Devashish Sen. Thank you so much for joining. Opinions? What do you have to say about this emphatic win by Gujarat Titans?
Well, I think they're not new to this. We saw Tewatia do two ball sixes against Punjab, and today I think it is brave batting in the end to go for those shots and get it done. Like after David Miller's wicket and Abhinav got out the next ball, we thought that SRH has it in hands, but like it's brilliant to watch such kind of games where the batters come and hit from nowhere, and it was amazing to watch. Players themselves are shocked, so it's nice.
Devashish sir, I would like to ask you, what do you think? Where did Marco Janssen go wrong with that last over? Because the equation was 22 runs needed of 6 deliveries, and SRH were really looking good to seal off the deal. What do you think? Where did Marco Janssen go wrong?
Bowler, you have hardly anything to do when you have a stroke maker in the likes of Rashid Khan and Rahul Tewatia. Must be wondering is to that let them miss a ball. Means it was clear hitting. It was bloody clear. What has happened to Joydeep?
What
The Joydeep
was
is
with
also
the hat with you wearing?
Welcome, Joydeep sir.
They're
Hello,
trying
hello.
competition, no?
Welcome, sir.
So Debasis,
Yes, sir, Devashish sir, as you were saying.
yeah. Actually, it was just unbelievable hitting. Means means it we know what Rahul Tewatia can do as a stroke player, and Rashid Khan also can hit big, and it was once again on display. Means uh, I'm just
you
in awe.
lost.
I'm just
You
dumbstruck. I'm just
lost.
lost out of words. I'm just lost out of
You
words.
don't have
Means
anything to say.
you can actually feel for Umran Malik.
Yeah,
The way
Damini,
he bowls.
I heard that question, and
Yes, sir.
also the skills that you need to be able to bowl under pressure. He's 21 years old. He learned. This is where you know how good the Lasith Malingas were. Last ball, 2 to win, come up with the Yorker. Even
Yes.
Natarajan, how well he bowled.
Yes, sir.
He got hit for 1 6, but you can get it for 4 6s in 1 over. 1 6 is nothing in the 19th over with these two guys batting. That's a superb over. Bhuvi, superb over. He cracked, but it just goes to show that the skills you need to be able to bowl under pressure are phenomenal because the Yorker is not there. You don't have the confidence, so you're going for the length ball, and length ball can go anywhere. Top edge over fine leg, middle of the bat over long on, over covers, it's a free hit. It's only that lethal Yorker that even the slow balls don't work on a wicket like this. Unless you have a slow ball like Harshal, but it's 30
Yes.
kilometers slower. 5-10 kilometers don't make any difference. So that just goes to show how good those guys were. The guys who would come at the end, day in and day out, year in, year out, bowl at the end and give 9 runs, 10 runs. Phenomenal.
Okay, sir. Now let's start. From Gujarat Titans, the pick of the bowlers would have to be Mohammad Shami, picking up 2 crucial wickets of Kane Williamson and Rahul Tripathi. Jaideep, sir, your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Shami is known for that. He plays 3 versions for India. He's a test match bowler, over 60 test matches. With a new Kookaburra ball, he can do tremendous things with a new ball in hand. And he's always been accurate. He's got swing in hand. So I'm not surprised. He's had a great tournament. And it's good news for India.
Devashish, sir, after the 2 quick wickets, there was a very important partnership between Abhishek Sharma and Aiden Markram. At one point, the scorecard fell for SRs that they could easily cross 200. What do you have to say about that partnership?
Yeah, that was a crucial partnership, and obviously Aiden Markram and Abhishek Sharma has been a revelation, if I would put it that way, because he has done well and last season also, and so far he has been doing really well for Sunrisers. But then I think the missing link for Sunrisers have been their captain. So that he has not clicked, and as Jadidda has time and again has said it on the platform that he is not a T20 batter. And but then hats off the way both Abhishek and Aiden Markram paced innings. they did not go to, bang bang right from the word go, but then the way they paced the innings was totally really admirable.
Vida, coming to you, in the pre-show I was watching, you were like all of you were discussing about mini battles between batsmen and bowlers. So, talking about mini battles, one interesting mini battle was between Rahul Tripathi and Mohammad Shami. Like Tripathi was seeming to be going very easy with Mohammad Shami, and then suddenly Mohammad Shami traps an LBW to Tripathi. What do you think was the thought process for Shami? What do you feel he thought should bring a change in his bowling, which finally brought him success against Tripathi?
Well, fast bowlers in this IPL have been very successful, and especially the ones who are regular in Test cricket. So that was a Test cricket wicket. Like he bowled and he kind of set him up. He was expecting something which to be a lot shorter because we see that he didn't move or anything. It was like more premeditated. He thought that Shami might go short at him, but that was like a test match length ball. And those kind of wickets we've seen it often, and the ones who've been successful doing it are also experienced fast bowlers. Like even today, if you see Shami, the way he bowled, he was brilliant. Like if you see overall, he's in the contention for purple cap. Plus, if you when you see the economy rate, that is where it is more impressive with him and Chahel at the top. They're getting the wickets, but at the same time, they're not going for runs. And we saw that how Josh bowled yesterday. We saw how Bhuvneshwar bowled yesterday. So the ones who are experienced and they know what they're doing are kind of executing the plan really well. But at the same time, the Mumbai wickets, we know that it helps fast bowler a little bit when they're hitting the deck. There's something that it skids, it rushes off. So I think it's amazing to see that experienced bowler come back after going for runs and do so well for the team.
And now an open house question. One bowler who definitely stands out, be it Gujarat Titans or SRH, that has to be Umran Malik. It just seemed, it was Umran Malik versus the Gujarat Titans. Maiden Fifer. Jaideep sir?
Yeah, I mean, we called it, for me, the pick was Umran Malik versus Hardik Pandya, and we saw the first ball hitting the shoulder. And also, it's not often just that one ball, but when you go and hit Hardik Pandya on the shoulder, it sends a message to the rest of the dugout as well that this guy's a serious bowler. And we know he's already a serious bowler because he's quick. Now, he's always been quick, and that's something he's always had. But now with Dale Steyn and all the time he spent at the NCA in Bangalore, he's learned how to bowl. See, pace can also be your enemy if you're not in the right areas because ball can fly off the bat. But he's now learned, he's grouping his balls a lot better. And today, he was just quick, straight. I think the ball with which he got Saha was an outstanding one, the Yorker. But the rest of the other ones, I mean, they were quick, but you expect at this level, this is the Indian Premier League. It is meant to be quick. There are a few other bowlers who bowl at this pace. And a little bit of lack of foot movement. We saw a couple of them. We saw some trying to make room. He's not a bowler you can make room and hit over covers because he doesn't give you the time. He's quick in the air. So I felt the shot selection with Abhinav Manohar also, foot didn't come out, but that can happen when somebody's going 150, the left foot doesn't come out. And his first ball, really good one. And he's a bowler for the future. I mean, the commentators were saying he's a test match bowler, he's a one-day bowler, and it won't be surprised very soon if we see him in all versions. It's how they unveil him into international cricket. It will be interesting to watch.
Devashish sir, I would like continuing with how Jaideep sir pointed that Umran Malik has once again clocked 150. Ridhiman Shah at one point was going very good after Hardik Pandya got dismissed, but then that 153 kilometers per hour delivery from Umran Malik, which Shah just got completely bamboozled. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, that was a pitch of a delivery. Means
Yep.
that extra few yards did him in because he was batting well, and we should actually it was Saha who took on the attack initially, batting with Shubman Gill. Actually, that some sort of set the platform for the attackers in the likes of Rashid and the Tiwatias and the Hardik. And he is making a lot of difference. Means make no mistake that Matthew Wade has been I won't say a flop, but he has been a bit let down for the Gujarat Titans. But ever since Saha, you with Saha, you know that he has already scored 100 in IPL. final back in 2014. So we know that he is a decent stroke player, but the ball with which he got out, that was sheer pace. And I think, as Ian Bishop rightly said on air, is that he is nowhere near the finished product. I think he's
Exactly.
only going to be when going to develop his skills.
Which is good.
The BCCI and the NCA needs to sort of uh, take care of him, means how to nourish him, because you have a national treasure in Umran Malik. So better we do not want to see another Varun Aran. Varun Aran also initially
Yeah.
he did had some real good pace, but Umran Malik is a real asset for India, I would say.
Okay. And Vida, now coming to you, continuing with Umran Malik, Dale Steyn has been a very big factor. He's been a talking point behind Umran Malik's success in this IPL. Even, in that match against KKR, we saw that Umran Malik delivered that ball to Shreyas Iyer, and Dale Steyn was absolutely animated. Even today, every time Umran Malik was picking one of his wickets, the camera was showing Dale Steyn. So how do you feel Dale Steyn could have, what are the key things Dale Steyn must have told Umran, which you feel must have helped Umran to apply in his bowling and bringing in success?
First of all, I feel having a right kind of mentor at this level kind of makes a lot of difference to the player. Plus, if you see Umran Malik and Dale Steyn, they're very similar. Physically, they don't look like they're going to someone bowl 150 regularly. And I'm sure Dale Steyn must have looked at him and saw a younger version of him running in fast, bowling at 150 kilometers per hour. It's just the mindset, like how he needs to go about it. We knew that Umran Malik was fast even last year, but he was erratic. He used to bowl all over the pitch. Now it is about channelizing his energy and channelizing his pace. And I'm sure Dale Steyn must be only working on the mental side of it and actually telling him what needs to be done and how you have to deliver and execute it. Because the problem is always about execution at this level, whether you're going to execute it correctly or not. So, like I said, having a right mentor and having someone like Dale Steyn, who himself used to bowl at 150 clicks, I think must have given a lot of confidence to Umran. And we're seeing the change in him in this year, that he's getting better every game.
And now I would like to ask to all of you, of course, do you find Umran Malik in Team India scheme of things, given the fact the upcoming T20 World Cup, do you find him giving good competition to the already existent Team India players?
Where I go first?
It's too early to say, I feel, because the likes of fast bowlers what the Indian team has, like their a go to bowlers are Jasprit Bumrah, they have Shami, and then they have Bhuvneshwar, who's done well in the previous season. And then your backup is someone like a Siraj, and even Avesh Khan was in the ranks. To beat all of those guys and to fast track, I think it'll be too early. But he will be in the scheme of things, like we were speaking in the pre-show, that the fast bowlers are where Indian team are concentrating, considering the rotation policy. I'm sure he'll travel as a net bowler or something, and and then they will see how to go about it, because you can't just go with IPL and then put them in the Indian team right away, because you need a lot more than just IPL to play for the Indian team. And that we'll get to know slowly with all the A games and stuff what these people play. After that, I think it is better to judge someone, but because he has the skill, he has the caliber, it is only about throwing him at the right time. You just sometimes what we tend to do is we fast track few people very early, and then they're kind of exposed at the international level. But he still has a long way to go, because considering only for the fact that the guys he has to beat are already established and they've been doing really well.
Devashi sir?
Yeah, I for one would not be surprised if he is in that Indian side for the five-match upcoming T20 series against South Africa, because you have the likes of Bumrah and Shami being rested. In all certainty, they would be rested for the series against South Africa. So maybe, as Veda has rightly put, maybe he could be fast track and he could be the net bowler, or he might be with the team so that he can learn with experience, sharing the dressing room with the likes of Rohit Sharma and Obviously, Rohit Sharma is also going to be rested, but sending the likes to dressing room with the senior players in the Indian fast bowling department. So that will be a hell lot of an experience for him. But he was also with the Indian team for the T20 World Cup in UAE as a net bowler. So he is learning the tricks definitely as far as fast bowling is concerned, and he's only going to get better. Obviously, as he, he shouldn't be fast track as Veda rightly put it. I mean, it shouldn't be fast track, but definitely I for one would love to see him being with that Indian team in the Indian scheme of things, so that he is going to get better with to getting to see the international flavor, the international experience. So he's only going to get better.
Jaideep sir?
Yeah, I agree with Veda, and I see where she's coming from, but I have a gut feeling that he'll be drafted into the team very quickly. And I think he'll be in the T20 World Cup team as well for two reasons. One is that sometimes when you have somebody really special, then for him to learn the tricks of the trade in that league is more important, because whenever you unveil him, unearth him, there'll be a little bit of time he'll need in international cricket also. So, like Devashi said, he could be in the T20 squad because a lot of the fast bowlers, main players have been rested. They play every version. They play a lot more. He's younger. And I also feel because he's got raw pace that can be used, and how they use him is important. See, if he bowled the 20th over today, it is possible that he could have gone for a few as well, because he's not that dead accurate with his Yorkers yet. But that's the reason why he's not bowling at the end. He's bowling up front and in the middle, and he's got 5 wickets, which is phenomenal. But it's two different skills that you need. And I get a feeling he'll be fast tracked pretty quickly, because when you get somebody this special, we saw Venkatesh Iyer play for India after IPL, because we don't have fast bowling all rounders, and Hardik was injured, so he came. Again, we don't have anybody who bowls 150, so I have a feeling he'll be fast tracked. But I agree with what you're saying. I think there's a process to it. I think then the for the player also to go stage by stage, it's easier for him to cross one stage after another, instead of just bowling here and then going and bowling to the best in another country with the pressure of the World Cup. But just gut feeling says that they get him in.
Okay, and in the now coming to the SRH's batting, after Tripathi got dismissed, there were that solid partnership between Abhishek Sharma and Aiden Markram. But then Abhishek Sharma got dismissed, and then suddenly there was a flurry of SRH wickets falling. And then at one point of time, it was looking well. Gujarat Titans might just restrict SRH from even crossing a 180, and then suddenly there is that cameo from Marco Jansen and especially Shashank Singh at the end, like smashing 25 runs of Lockie Ferguson. What do you have to say about that? Like, where did Lockie Ferguson go wrong in his approach?
Joyda, your
Jaideep.
turn.
Oh, it's my turn, is it? Okay.
Yes,
So,
Jaideep, sir.
so I just felt that, he also can get Yorkers in time. See, no matter how quick you are, no matter what you can do, you can swing the red ball, you can swing the new ball. At that point in time, the skill set is Yorkers. And if you don't have it, you can have every ball in the world, it doesn't matter. That's why there are some bowlers who are death over specialists. You won't see Natarajan really swinging it, banana swing with the new ball, like Marco Jansen getting people out in the slips. He won't do that. But what Natarajan will do at the end, Marco Jansen cannot do. So there are different skill set. And when you can do it all, then you have Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, then you have Lasit Malinga, then you are top of the party. So when you can with the new ball, bowl 2 overs, swing it, get people out in the slips, and then come back, bowl the 18th and 20th, 12 balls, maybe bowl 9, 10 Yorkers, then you are the full package. That's what didn't happen. And it's not the first time Ferguson has gone for a few. He's gone for a few even before, which is the reason why when he was in KKR, he would not bowl at the end. Andre Russell would. He would finish by 16, 17. So that's is not his strength.
But then, why do you think Hardik Pandya went with Lockie Ferguson? Is it because Hardik Pandya is inexperienced, or as this is his first stint as a captain, that he went with Lockie Ferguson with the 10th overs?
Devashi, you want to go with that?
No, no.
Devashi,
I
sir?
was just about to ask Joyda, is that did Ken Williamson go wrong? Means when you have someone like a Rahul Tewatia and Rashid Khan at the back end, and then because you have a Natarajan at your side, so perhaps going with a Natarajan at the death over, then to send in an inexperienced Marco Jansen. Obviously, Marco Jansen could have won you the matches. These are all at the hindsight. But then, having said that, you have a trusted bowler like a Natarajan who could have easily bowled at final over.
But
The 90
Natarajan
over only
did
match
bowl the
would have been
19th over.
over if he
Yeah.
had bowled the 20th
Ah,
over.
right, yeah.
See,
Your
Natarajan
best
bowled the
bowler,
19th over, and as Veda is saying, if he had given it to Marco Jansen, then Natarajan would have probably had 12 or 13 to defend. So you
Ah.
always go with your best bowlers and try and pile up as many runs as you can in the last over, and hopefully your weakest of the three death bowlers come bowls the last over. Because this one was almost defended. It's not that, almost defended. But if it was 13 or 14, it wouldn't have been defended. That's why he went Bhuvi, Natarajan, as much as he could have in the bank, and then he went and then it didn't work out.
And now coming to the SRH's lineup, today there was one change seen in place of Suchit. Washington Sundar was brought in, but did Sundar appeal to you today? Was he effective to you, Vida?
well, whether he's going to be effective or not, any day you would pick Washington Sundar over Suchit, because no wonder how well he's done in the few games. Obviously, the India cap, the experienced player, once they're back from the injury, you would want them to be in the mix. So I wouldn't say it is about how he's done or whatever it is, but I kind of felt that probably they could have used Washington in the power play, because he is very effective with the new ball. Maybe they just missed the trick there, not bowling him in the power play.
I
Uh,
agree.
but yeah, like, well,
That's
you
his
you
strength.
you yeah, you see players when they're going to replace. You see who's going to replace, and he's coming back from an injury, so obviously someone has to make place and then make way for him, and it was Suchit this time.
I agree with Veda on that. Just to pitch in that, when you have
Yes.
playing Washington Sundar with his record for India, for every franchise he's played, you got to give him the new ball.
Yeah,
That's his strength. As a spinner, power play is his strength.
yeah,
And you have to give it to him strength. You can say why. Later on, it's five fielders outside the circle, so it should be easier. Skill set is different. He enjoys that. He has his plan. And it doesn't work after six. Many teams bowl him all three in the first six on
yeah,
a good day.
yeah.
So I agree with Veda on that. I think they missed a trick there.
And Devashish sir?
Yeah, but I think he had some worries, some concerns with his webbing. I think maybe that might have affected his bowling somewhat, Joyda or Veda,
I doubt it.
because
I doubt it. In the
I
in the
don't
in
think
the
so.
IPL, unless you're 100% fit, they don't get you back in the park.
Yeah,
Maybe
I,
lack
I
of
don't think so
maybe
either.
lack of not bowling. He had a foot injury, so he couldn't bowl. Maybe not bowling in the nets. That could be possible, but I think nothing with the webbing. Not enough game time. Last 7 days, foot injury. You can't bowl. You can't run. You can't do anything. So you're out of your game sense. But he looked out of touch. Yeah, looked out of touch.
And one player from Gujarat Titans, that is Shubman Gill, he is becoming a bit inconsistent. Apart from that 96 that he played, he hasn't really scored much. Where is he lacking with his performances, Jaydeep sir?
Yeah, I think he's. Firstly, his strike rate is something that was in question when he was in KKR, which is why he
Yes.
was not retained. Today, also, his strike rate was hovering around the 100. And especially when you're batting with a guy who's almost 37, 38 years old and he's going at 170, 180, then you start feeling the pulse even more. And he said, listen, this guy's not a regular. This guy has just come in and he's replaced Matthew Wade. I'm the chosen one. I'm the regular one. I'm the star player and I'm struggling with my strike rate. So what's going on? So that is putting pressure. Even in KKR, that would put pressure on him. Whoever opened with, so he would have Nitish Rana, Rahul Tripathi, they would have better strike rates than him. But he's a fabulous player, and I think you're right. He's been inconsistent. If he wants to get onto the plane for Australia, he needs to get a lot more consistent with a better strike rate. Easier said than done.
And now from with the T20 World Cup being continuously up and coming for the talks, which players from both sides do you feel can make the cut for the final team, Devashish sir? If at all they are to be considered.
I think in the middle order you have a traffic jam, because as in the pre-show also Veda was talking about, because where do you fit in these players, the fringe players? Means obviously, when you have a likes of Surya Kumar Yadav or Rishabh Pant, KL Rahul, obviously
Chase Iyer.
uh, Shreyas Iyer. So see, Rahul, someone like a Rahul Tewatia, he he could be
Dinesh
tried.
Karthik.
Dinesh Karthik,
Yeah, everybody.
yeah.
He can play the role of the finisher, probably. You
We'll
know, the
They
we'll
pinch
we'll we'll
hitting.
we'll, we'll play 15 versus 15. We'll just say we can't drop anybody. You also play 15. We play 15.
The
didn't
the
become
thing
a
is that
Jana, we need more. The names
Ah,
if
only
18,
you go
18,
away.
18.
All to bad, all to
yeah,
bold.
All to bad, all to good. 3 for
what
1.
what India what
Winner takes the.
India need of the hour is, means as Veda put it rightly in the pre-show, is that we need a fast bowling all rounder. So with Hardik also, he did not bowl in the last game. He did not bowl today also. He got injured in his right shoulder. So that is a bit concerning. So you have a Venkatas Iyer, first season really really well. He was drafted in the Indian
At
team,
opening.
but
At
yeah,
opening.
at
He's
Yes,
not
the
opening,
getting
top
that for
order.
India.
yeah,
He's
Yes,
not getting that
taking
for
the
India.
cue, Team India's top order also has been a very big point of question.
Yeah, it is.
I
But
It's been
before we
very
just come to
wobbly.
that, Devashish, Venkatesh Iyer was phenomenal in the IPL for KKR in the second half at
Second half.
open. He's
Yeah,
not getting that in the Indian team. That slot is taken. Veda said there are about 5 guys waiting there. Join the queue.
yeah.
right.
It's not gonna happen. I mean, if I feel if Hardik is fit, he probably will still travel whether he's going to bowl or not. Considering how well he is, he can play as a batter, and if by then maybe they're looking at his workload and stuff, how to go about. He got hit today as well, so they've just wait and watch for him to be fully prepared because there's still a lot of time left. There's 6 months left for the World Cup, so that's a lot
Yeah,
of
true.
time. But yeah, I mean, I feel like someone like a Tevatia might be of good use considering how well he plays the pacers and in the depth because that is what India needs.
Special
Top
players.
five, yeah, top five is fixed. Your bowlers are fixed. Your spinners are fixed. You probably need if you need someone who could balance it out, it would be
I
someone
agree.
like Tevatia who could come and score at a strike rate what over 160, 170, and probably bowl a couple of overs.
See,
So that
I agree with Veda because I can name about 10 guys who can bat in the top 4. But
yeah.
I can name you 4 guys who can bat in the top 6. Three are low at 6, 7. So
Yeah.
that's where the key lies. I agree with her on that.
And considering the matches will be played in Australia, so do you see a Tewatia making that T20 World Cup squad?
Yeah,
The
with the
ball,
bigger grounds, 90-yard boundaries, it's possible.
He
I'm
hits it
surprised I'm
big.
only here, but here
He
he's 55. Sorry?
he hits it big, and
Yeah,
he
No,
even
it's
in
plays
his,
today's
it's his
match
well.
bowling
also we
also.
saw.
What I'm
Yeah,
saying is with his
yeah,
bowling also with 90-yard boundaries, 90-meter boundaries, he'll be in play. See, here, it's, I mean, I'm sure all of you have been for IPL games. It's just mind boggling how small sometimes the boundaries are.
Boundaries are.
you know. And I asked Andre Russell this question once. I said, listen, you play all over the world. Which is the best league? He said, as far as quality is concerned, this is the best league, Indian Premier League. But the
Yes,
only
he has.
thing I would like it to change is that the size of the boundaries. In Australia, at the Big Bash, the
it's
boundaries
huge.
are 90 meters. That
It's
separates the men from the boys. He said, over here, everybody hits sixes. There, the real men hit sixes. And I see his point. I see his point. So
That's a
as a
valid
bowler,
point he has said.
as a bowler, you walk in as a wrist spinner or something, and it's a 63-yard boundary, it's a 67-yard boundary. Compared to a 90-yard boundary, that 90-meter boundary, that's when a Tewatia's bowling also comes in.
Because then that also enhances the actual power that you have. It proves whether you have the power, the capability to cross the boundary ropes. Okay,
Absolutely.
No,
That's what
now
Russell was trying to say.
because the fact that he's done it way too many times, it's not like one off.
Yeah.
He's doing it regularly, and he was picked in the Indian squad. There was some issues with the yo-yo and stuff, and then we didn't see him play. If not by now, he would have played at least a couple of series. I feel the way he was drafted in
True.
at that point, but I genuinely feel if someone's doing once or twice, maybe you need to see them more. But he's doing it regularly. He's already winning games for his team single-handedly, and I think that is some kind of a quality, and he is special, and that needs to be looked on. Whether he gets picked or not is a secondary thing, but he should definitely be looked into it and see whether how he's going to balance.
True. And somebody who
Okay.
bats at that position will not be that consistent.
Yeah,
That is a given.
yeah,
Riyan
Yes.
Parag will not be
Yeah,
consistent because next match he'll get
absolutely.
Consistently.
5 balls, 7 balls,
He,
9 balls.
Yeah,
So
yes,
he will
yes,
not.
absolutely.
Tewati at 7 will not be consistent. How many
Yes.
matches is he winning you? That's the point.
yeah.
Okay, so now almost coming to the end. Big match coming up tomorrow. DC versus KKR. Your picks,
Oh
everyone. Who's
yes,
winning?
Joyda. There's no question. Joyda is going to go for KKR, so
Jyotisha,
obviously I have to go for Delhi.
3 KKRs
KKR.
there. 3 Calcuttas, 3 KKRs.
Do you think KKR will be able to avenge their 44-run defeat against DC?
Yes, easily.
You look like a
Easily.
you look like a 16-year-old
KKR
boy
always.
saying yes to everything.
KKR always. Devashisa?
Whatever Veda says, I say
see,
opposite. So in any case, I am
my
KKR.
mind, my
Veda will support KKR the day KKR in the last round is to beat somebody for RCB to qualify.
That's
I'm
not
waiting for
going to
that.
happen. We are going to sail through very easily. We don't need you.
Right now you're going the other way. You need to turn the boat.
Okay, let's see
Right now
what
you're going
happens
back in the old
tomorrow.
shore. You need to go the other way.
Okay, let's see what happens. It was nice talking to you all. So this was match number 40, Gujarat Titans versus SRH. Brilliant win by the Gujarat Titans, and we meet tomorrow for the big match number 41, DC versus KKR. Until then, good night and goodbye. Thank you.
Thank
Good
you. Good
night.
night.
thank
Bye.
you.
See
Good
you.
night.
Thank you. Good night.